happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, guys, definitely gonna want to check this one out. So we got those ladies on the set of ABC's The View back at it again. I told you folks before, if they're not fighting with the guests they're inviting on that show, they're fighting with the ladies sitting around that table. No different in today's segment. This update, we got ABC The View host Sunny Hostin that big mouth of hers about talking her way out the door. In this newest update, guys, I'm excited to get into it. So we're not straight into it. So make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, you guys, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
This is about President-elect Trump going back to the White House. Mark Zuckerberg and Meta dined with Trump at Mar-a-Lago in November. Meta just donated $1 million to support his inauguration. Zuckerberg also elevated Joel Kaplan, the highest-ranking Meta executive closest to the Republican Party, to the company's most senior policy role. And on Monday, Zuckerberg said Dana White, the head of the Ultimate Fighting Championship and an ally of Trump's, would join Meta's board. This is about the fact that our many corporations, and especially these oligarchs that own these social media companies, are bowing down to Trump so that they can make money off of the American people.
What? Wait a minute. Do you guys see how quick Sunny will, out of thin air, spin and find a whole new narrative and run with it? I mean, this right here is mind-boggling to talk about, you know, those trying to benefit or profit off the American dollar. I mean, Sunny Hostin lives in a 10-bedroom, 10-bathroom house. Who is she to say who's profiting off the American people? And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that they were fans, big fans of Mark Zuckerberg, very high up, spoke highly on this guy not too long ago. And now you see, as soon as you associate or come into association with Donald Trump, you're in their crosshairs. It's crazy to see.
Bowing down to Trump so that they can make money off of the American people.
We can all have a bit of a conversation here. So this is actually more complex than we're making it, but on the free speech of it, and I actually agreed with Mark Zuckerberg. Of course, there's pressure because Trump's coming into office, but I do think that there's a cultural and societal desire to be able to talk about things openly. And actually, liberals used to be the ones who were super pro-free speech. The famous saying goes, "I disagree with what you're saying, but I'll defend to the death your right to say."
Yes,
so
but I will not
if I may
defend
finish,
to the death your right to call me.
Here.
Sometimes it happens like this.
Oh my goodness. Do you guys hear Alyssa when she gets rudely interrupted by Whoopi Goldberg? She says, I can't even finish the sentence here. You just let her talk for the last 20 minutes. Talking about Sunny Hostin. I mean, you're seeing right here, all these ladies on the set, just like I said in the beginning, it's like mixing water and oil. It simply does not mix. They're always going to be going back and forth. It's nothing but drama on the set. ABC's The View. And I bet you Alyssa's going to come in here. She's been the most, I would say the most rational, reasonable figure on this show for the last weeks post-election. I feel like she has really came full circle, came around to Donald Trump, his agenda, what he's pushing, and trying to bring a little bit of reality to the set of this show, which is pretty hard to do. I'm not going to lie. You see what happens when she tries to do it. She gets cut off every single time. She's calling him out, though.
Saying goes, I disagree with what you're saying, but I'll defend to the death your right to say.
Yes,
so
but I will not defend to the death your right to call me.
Here.
Sometimes it happens like this. Be nice. She didn't talk for 20 minutes.
And I always like to hear people say.
Go ahead.
But that's okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm trying to make the point that hate speech, something that incites violence, is not legally ever protected under the First Amendment. My ability to say a housewife is a household object, I can say that. It can offend you. I don't agree with it, but you absolutely, under the First Amendment, have a right to say it. And the fact that we're policing speech because it makes people uncomfortable or they don't like it or it offends them, I don't think it's how we should engage it.
If somebody just...
This is a very touchy subject for these ladies here on The View, too, because they love this filtered speech. They don't want people to be able to have unfiltered free speech, especially on these social media platforms where they're able to tell the truth or go against the view. These ladies sit up here, they hate that. They love to just everyone sit back, listen to our narrative, and no one else can push anything out without these bogus fact checkers coming on these social media networks that aren't even true, and that's what I think gets underneath and grinds these ladies' gears the most is that, Mark Zuckerberg is finally on board with the Elon Musk motive and mission to get rid of these bogus fact checkers. Just like what we've seen Elon do on X is what's happening on Facebook, and these ladies are panicking.
People uncomfortable, or they don't like it, or it offends them. I don't think it's how we should engage it.
If somebody decides, as they do often on these social media places, to call me a
don't even say the word.
Well, let's be.
I get death threats on social media. We all do.
We're going to have this conversation.
And I'm just going to say right now, this is social media. If you decide, especially, you got to think, she's a TV personality on national television. This is televised to our entire nation. I'm not sure why she's worried about what names are being thrown at her. I mean, you should expect that when you get up here and you broadcast yourself. I mean, heck, I expect that. I get, I accept all the good and the bad. I love you guys who send me good comments and, constructive criticisms. But then again, I get those who are very negative and very nasty. But then again, that is what comes with being an online or, a media personality. You have to take the good. You have to take the bad as well, though. And you have to be able to, just accept it.
Let's be.
I get death threats on social media.
If we're going to have this conversation, then let's have it.
All right, go ahead.
Because if we're going to do that, we have to do it. Okay. So there are certain things where we all agree, boy, you shouldn't be saying that. That is not curbing your free speech. It's asking you to, not you, asking one to respect the fact that people don't want to hear that word when it has to do with them or Native Americans or women.
There's also an element.
There's a difference though. She's speaking upon hate speech, and that is not protected underneath First Amendment rights. But then again, those things that you do not want to hear, that go against your opinions, your beliefs, those are the things that are protected, underneath our free speech. It's not about the things that, you want to hear that are supposed to be protected under free speech. It's supposed to be the things that you don't agree with, you don't want to hear. Those are the things that folks still have a right to say.
It has to do with them or Native Americans or women.
There's also
or
an
any
element
of these
of
things.
choice that comes
under the hateful
that's my
guidelines.
point.
But by the way, there is an element of choice that comes into this. I would never subscribe to somebody who would use that language or who would incite
but you're on a site that says now, maybe it's okay to say
it wasn't before.
Well, you guys were focusing on hate speech, but some of the beginning things they did were Facebook removed all content that said COVID was a man-made disease. There was a group of people claiming it was, and they were considered off limits. Now it's debatable, and they released that. So my point is, there's a difference between the obvious awful stuff you're talking about,
those things
but
to be able
it's
to be
shutting
said on
down
social media.
conversations, which that's the
Come on now, it's supposed to be for the difficult, the tough conversations that some people don't want to face or they don't want to believe is true. That's what's supposed to be protected underneath First Amendment free speech. Whoopi is so concerned or caught up with, she can only understand, hateful comments, hateful speech, but that is still filtered out. She's so lost. It's crazy.
awful stuff you're talking about,
those things
but
to be able
it's
to be said
shutting
on
down
social media.
conversations, which that's the point.
And again,
the
some things are
distinguishing
black
point.
and white because you don't have all the facts.
Yes,
You
but
didn't have
not
all the facts at the
everything
beginning.
is black or white. And the things that we know are black and white are the things that we can say, you know what? You don't need to do this because we've decided collectively as a group of human beings that we're going to respect, because they always talk about respect. If you're going to respect people, there are certain things I want you to say if you run the thing.
I refuse to believe we've got hip-hop hypocrisy Whoopi Goldberg trying to lecture us about respect and name calling. I just cannot believe this day has come. Whoopi Goldberg feels like she's in a space that she needs to be teaching or speaking upon respect and name calling. The names that I've heard her call Donald Trump, heck, they were calling him Hitler nonstop on this show. It's nuts that they don't even realize their hypocrisy in their words.
If you're going to respect people, there are certain things I want you to say if you run the thing. Say, I'm not going to accept that. Or for all of the folks who are applauding, you can also not get on Meta.
Well, that's the freedom, that's the choice. Rather than saying we have to shut down and by the way, what if it's in a rap lyric? What if it's something that's in a comedy sketch? Oftentimes language is used in comedy that's represented on social media.
No, you don't hear
it.
You don't hear it very much on social media. You're not allowed to do it in comedy.
But that's not a good thing. I don't think
They coming after, and that's exactly what I'm saying. They're trying to censor and filter everything, and that's why our comedians are so watered down. The jokes aren't funny anymore because we're censoring them. We're coming after them, you know, in their First Amendment freedom of speech rights. I mean, come on, you guys. We seen how much of a shock it was. New Year's Eve special where we got true comedy from Whitney Cummings roasting CNN, actually telling the truth. I mean, that's what we want to get back to. Let these folks be able to speak, have freedom, free range to speak instead of trying to filter what's supposed to be protected in our constitutional rights.
Very much
You're not
on
allowed to
social
do it
media.
in
Not
comedy
allowed to
anymore
do it
either.
in
You know
comedy.
that.
But that's not a good thing. I don't think silencing speech.
You
even
can't just go out there and
Yes,
calling
there are
people
some
names
times-
anymore.
I'm not
Sorry.
saying calling people names. I'm saying some of these words that they're saying are protected.
You know, can I
and
say
and
something?
discussed.
You-
There was a
really
time
quick,
when
yeah.
there were cartoons when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
And they would make fun of Italians. What's the matter, you? You know, he's a
Yeah.
pizza. Everybody was
Yeah.
a pizza maker.
Yeah.
And I, as a child, I felt like that was offensive to me.
Yeah.
So I understand. I have empathy for people who don't like it.
No one
when you
is-
are making fun of their group in a nasty way.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
the people
No one
people
does.
who are doing this are not from minority groups. They're from majority groups, and so
This
they
is
don't
not. This
suffer
is not
the
me
same
saying
arrow.
Now, folks, now you're trying to be a victim advocate. I mean, come on, we have to lighten up a little bit. You know, stop being so serious all the time. You know, learn to laugh at ourselves, at our culture, at the way we do things. It's a lot easier to get through life that way. I found it, you know, early on. And when these ladies wake up, you know, I feel like a couple of them have woke up. Like Sarah Haynes is coming around along. So Alyssa Farah Griffin, surprisingly enough, guys, hear me out. These are the two ladies that are bringing reason back to The View. I'm not a fan. I'm just saying.
Minority groups. They're from majority groups, and so
This
they
is
don't
not. This
suffer
is not
the
me
slings
saying
and
that
arrows.
every person at this table gets hate speech directed at them every day.
Yeah.
No one is.
All right, I
encouraging-
guess no
it's
one
saying
gets to
simply-
finish a sentence here anymore. Okay.
No, I think the point Alyssa's making here is
Wow.
she is a free
Well, don't
speech.
speak for her. She speaks very well for herself.
No, but
You see, guys, this show, I'm not sure how they are able to continue on. It just, the nastiness, the cattiness. When you are not on board, you don't agree with the narrative they're trying to push, you see how they just clash. They go head to head. Does not matter who you are. If you're not in agreement, if you're not a yes man, just jumping on board with every talking point topic that they're throwing out and spinning, they're going to come at you. And you see how vicious it gets. Joy Behar, now she's playing a complete victim in the whole situation. I guess I'll never get a sentence out here. Just like what happened when Alyssa Farah Griffin actually was cut off.
she is a free
Well, don't
speech.
speak for her. She speaks very well for herself.
No, but and I'm not doing
We
that.
all
but-
act like we're for free speech when it's the things we like. When somebody wants to
That is
defend the free
not
speech
true.
of people
That
we
is not
disagree
true.
with,
That is
it's
not
suddenly
true.
That
we
is
just-
not
I don't want you
But we
calling me.
always, we
I don't
always
want
say
people to
comedy
call
needs to be able
folks.
to push limits.
Listen, comedy does push limits, but be smarter in your comedy. You don't need to offend me to be funny. I don't need to offend you to be funny. And so there are.
Tends to be offensive and push
Well, no,
boundaries,
not
question
that's
governments.
actually not necessarily true. The best comedy doesn't always tend to be offensive.
And just because you're offended doesn't necessarily mean that you were right. I'm just gonna give it to her.
That's
Governments.
actually not necessarily true. The best comedy doesn't always tend to be offensive. It just doesn't.
Okay, the First Amendment doesn't apply to private companies, which is why I'm
Correct.
frustrated Mark Zuckerberg did this. But there are
Correct.
countries in Europe who have modified the way they're allowed to talk about people.
Yes.
I actually support some eliminations on hate speech,
Yeah.
which makes me not an absolutist, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, because there are things that we collectively can say. We respect everybody's right not to be called a name. If you take that away and you allow that, it's a problem.
They didn't allow it before, and they allow it now.
Everyone's right not to be called a name. If I call you a butthead, it's protected. I mean, come on, you guys. These ladies are pro-censorship is what it is. If you're not on board with their lies, the gaslight, the narratives they try to push, you see what's happening, guys. They're trying to come after this guy. They said they loved Mark Zuckerberg just a couple months ago. Now all of a sudden, the whole tone, the narrative has shifted. It's crazy.
Take that away and you allow that, It's a problem.
They didn't allow it before, and they allow it now, and they
Well,
allow
it's
it
not
now
a good
with
thing.
Never really
because
existed on any
the
platform I've
President-elect
been on.
Donald Trump.
There's
is a
never
liar.
been a social media platform
Donald
that's
Trump.
existed where you can't call people names. I've been called names on every platform that didn't
I've been
exist.
called every name on
But
it.
here's the
It
thing,
was
it
before
doesn't
Donald
make it,
Trump, it was
but
after.
it doesn't make it right.
But let's say facts,
Well,
not
that's
say
what I'm
because
saying.
Donald Trump got elected, now you can call names on social media.
Well,
that's not
why Mark.
true.
That's why Mark Zuckerberg is doing.
Are you
it.
on?
Yo, there we have it, guys. Just got a very clear example of what I've been speaking on. Alyssa Farah Griffin, Sarah Haynes sneakily bringing reason back to the set of The View, where she's saying, stop saying that just because Donald Trump got elected, now you can name call on social media. It's been a thing. I've been getting called names on social media ever since I got on social media. It's the thing that folks do on social media. So if you're going to get on a platform, just expect that you're going to get called a name or two, especially if you're a big media personality. That's the part that just doesn't make sense to me, is these ladies, they get up here, especially that Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, they act so offended. Sunny Hostin, they act so offended, their butt hurt behind the name calling of Donald Trump. But then you look back and it's not even, you don't have to go too far back in the segment. You can see almost every single segment, if not every other one, they're calling Donald Trump or someone that is associated with him a different name, painting a different picture. That blatant hypocrisy of these ladies out of this world. They need to take a very long look in the mirror, do some self-reflecting, because they are just simply in a false reality bubble. I'm not sure what world they're living in where they can call names, but then they want people to be censored for calling names on social media. It doesn't make sense to me, guys. Hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.